What's up, Illumineers? It is trivia time! Did you ever wonder why different characters in Disney Lorcana have different classifications? And what do those mean both narratively but also mechanically when playing? Well, fear not, today I'm going to tell you all about them. So let's take a closer look at Storyborn, Dreamborn and Floodborn Glimmers. In Disney Lorcana, players summon versions of characters called Glimmers. Glimmers are a new version of Disney characters that only exist in the world of Disney Lorcana. Using their Incasta, Illumineers can make images rise off the page, bringing these glimmers to life. Storyborn is the most common personification of these glimmers. They take the form of their original selves that we are very familiar with from the different Disney canons and franchises, hence the story part of the classification. Take for example a card such as Belle Strange but Special. You can see Belle in her iconic ballroom dress, while also showing her interest for literature and fairy tales. This card as it is could have been taken straight from the original animated movie and would still fit comfortably there. Another two examples are Gaston Arrogant Hunter and Ariel on Human Legs. Do you spot anything unusual about these cards and characters? Or could you simply imagine them as part of their original animated movie selves? This is down to their posing, personality, and even the outfit they are using. Some of this can even almost be overlapped with specific scenes from the movies. Unlike Storyborn, Dreamborn Glimmers have had some of the Illumineers' own imagination added to the mix when they were summoned. The key word here is dream. The best way to describe these glimmers are with what-if scenarios. For example, with Belle Inventive Engineer, we can see that the Illumineer wonder what if Belle has decided to follow the path of her father and decided to be an inventor herself. With Gaston Baritone Bully, it looks like that the caster dreamed about a world where Gaston decides to follow his dream as a singer, instead of a hunter. Props to Dan, Gaston's voice is amazing. Finally, looking up close to Ariel Adventurous Collector, her modifications are more to do with her curiosity with treasures. In this personification, you can see that she's also wearing different jewelry and even what seems to be a flower in her hair. These changes are not only reflected in things such as unique outfits for these characters, but also on which actions and personality they are now portraying. The final and most unique form of a glimmer can take on is Floodborn. As the name suggests, these were glimmers that were affected by the magical ink flood that happened during the events of Rise of the Floodborn after Martin opened the locked lore book himself. When they came in contact with it, these glimmers were modified in different ways. This is independently of them initially being a Storyborn or a Dreamborn glimmer. Usually, these modifications go even further than an Illumineer's imagination and what-if situations, to something even more extreme. Belle, Accomplished Mystic, is a great example of this. As a Floodborn, she takes on the role of a powerful sorcerer that learns how to use her psychic abilities and healing powers. She's wearing a very unique gown that you would never have seen as part of Disney canon, and she seems to use the power of the Enchanted Rose itself with the goal to heal the beast. As a Floodborn, Gaston, intellectual powerhouse, turns into a very intelligent person. He seems to be wearing a lot of unique gadgets that perhaps he acquired from Belle's father herself while putting together a plan to invade Beast's castle and take Belle all for himself. Finally, with Ariel Sonic Warrior, we see an extremely determined and warrior princess that is using her new Sonic Wave powers to stop any villains along the way. Ariel looks beautiful in her gold attire, crown, and using her shell-like staff. What is also important to note is that all Floodborn characters are also the only character cards that can be shifted upon during gameplay. And they all have its own visual language shown via the card's borders, representing the magical ink flood. And these are the definitions of the three different classifications for Disney Lorcana's glimmers. Looking at it side by side, you can see a nice curve and differentiation between them. Oh, and before I forget, I think we're missing one last one. Inkborn. Inkborn are all glimmers from the hero classification that were born from liking and subscribing to our channel. If you ask myself, these are the true heroes of Disney Lorcana. Thanks for watching and happy questing!